We heard that mother was coming to Argentina. In the morning, I remember entering into her bedroom. She was sitting, looking at the window, and she said, I am from the country. She said, from the countryside, I love to be there.
Congratulations, what a house.
People of the theater, they were scared because there were too many people and they closed the doors. It was really incredible time. Argentina, I would never expect it, she said.
Oh my God. May God bless you.
Que Dios los bendiga a todos.
All of you have got it.
Todos ustedes la han sentido.
I bow to you, all saints.
Me inclino delante de todos ustedes, son todos
Argentina, I never expected.
Argentina, nunca lo hubiera creído.
Beginning of '85, we had a tour to Spain, and I mentioned to her I wanted to go to Argentina and I wanted to speak about her. She said, when are you going? In August '85. And then she said, it's going to be cold because in August it's winter in Argentina. And then she looked into the sky and said, but it's not going to be that cold. And funny enough, when I arrived in August, it was sun from day one until I left, the whole month. I gave realization to a couple of people, but that was not the start. Since then, every year we are asking Shri Mataji, can we go to Argentina, start Sahaja? And she said, no, not yet, not yet. Until in 1990, we heard that she was actually coming to Buenos Aires. I was in Australia at that point, other yogis from Switzerland, Argentinians as well. We got together and said we should go and prepare. We were preparing for her coming. We had booked one beautiful theater, and then all of a sudden Mother was in Poland at that time, and she said that she was not coming, but go ahead and do the program as if I was there. 15th of July 1990, I think it was the first program. So of course we changed the venue. We wanted a smaller venue, thinking, okay, not many people will come. The Casa Suiza, it was called. It's a theater for 400 people. An enormous amount of people came, and we had to take all the chairs out, and there were about 800 people inside and another 800 outside that couldn't come. So we have to double and do another program the next day. It was really fantastic, and we were 5 or 6 yogis just trying to do everything and showing and translating the video Shri Mataji, and finally getting everybody's realization. The next day, the people who came, we said, please raise your hands, the ones who came yesterday. And then said, okay, look around you, the ones who didn't raise your hands, and start working on them. And we are showing on the stage how to work with the new people. And they were the ones that came the previous day were working on the new ones. That's how it started. It was like an explosion of Sahaja Yoga. And I came really for a couple of weeks, basically for 10 days. And I stayed 3 years because Mother, at the end, we had to continue. She asked me to stay. We were doing 3 programs per week. Each program was full house. Everybody was coming. And in 2 years, we had a collective of about 60 people.
Now you are all realized people, and you are very happy, and you are all very playful and joyous. And also, now you are so capable. You have spirituality, you can give realization to others. Even I was told that in the streets people ask for realization. Some people went to Eastern blocks and they got 5,000 people. Somebody went down to Argentina, got so many people. So it's very good. All these my hands are extending, and the work is taking place. Everybody should take it up. Select a place, I'll go there and work it out. Select one place and work it out. All of you can do it because you have now got the powers. Better work it out, use them. If you don't use the powers, you become blunt.
And Mother came finally in 1992. The arrival of Shrimataji was absolutely incredible. We had a very, very beautiful ashram at that point in the middle of Buenos Aires, in a very calm area. And we sang, and she stopped us and translated every single word that we were singing to the collective. This is beautiful because she was explaining the meaning of every couplet that we were singing.
Means by your grace that we have the tenderness of a child. So, एक को कुंडलिनी नाम जाप, now the awakened.
Cuando le dice que tenemos que cantar una canción más porque su corazón está demasiado lleno, no puede hablar.
Very much touched by the mood. By the way, people in Argentina can sing Marathi and Hindi songs, so very difficult to choose.
Estoy muy emocionada y conmovida la forma que la gente en Argentina puede cantar canciones en marathi y en hindi también. Es muy difícil.
And Mother came and stayed in that ashram. And it was in that ashram that we were doing all the programs, and also in that ashram that we had the only one pusha that happened in Argentina. It was the pusha to Sri Ganesha.
Sarvam Jagadam Tatasti Shadi
Buenos días, gracias señora de Vicky. Está pidiendo Buenos Aires.
It was really an instrument for Satya Yoga at that time, that house, 1660 Ancharena, which is now a museum of Jorge Luis Borges, a famous writer of Argentine. It's a beautiful two-story house. Mother stayed there. As soon as she arrived, she called my wife and me, and we went up into her room.
I thought when we saw it, we thought it's just your style. It was as if you came with a golden beat.
No, I like either classical or absolutely rustic. Nothing in between.
And she sat down on the bed and she asked us to put some cream on her arms. My wife had one arm and I have the other arm. I have the right arm and she had the left arm. And we were, applying that cream, and all the dead skin was coming out, and she was really happy and she was playing with us. And she said, "Oh, but your wife is better than you because look at how much she's taking out, so and then I will do more." It was absolutely incredible being in that kind of a bubble. And Mother was very pleased. She said, "Oh, we have to start with this program like that in Argentina, taking care of herself." We had bought a beautiful carpet that was a red carpet just on the side of the bed. And when we were doing that, all the skin was coming down. And all of a sudden we looked down and the whole carpet was white with all her skin. And I asked Mataji, can we gather all this? And said, yes, you should. This is what Sri Ganesha was made of. Then we had a program, beautiful program in '92, where Mother spoke very openly about herself. At one point, it was difficult to translate because it was really very, very, very clear that she was the Mother of Christ in the way she was presenting it. And from that program, a lot of yogis stay, and they are all incredible, very good Satya yogis. She had been in Argentina before, much before, during the time of dictatorship, actually, and came with a function of CECIPI for the maritime organization.
See, I went to a very nice place in Argentina, and they have a very beautiful, very, very beautiful area near the sea called as Mar del Plata. It's so beautiful it was. So I was telling CP that we should really have an ashram here.
Then Mother came again in '94. Mother stayed at the ashram at that point, was in El Maestro. The street is called El Maestro.
Mira acá, por suerte pasó de largo.
María Amelia con la cámara.
María Amelia. No, perdona, María Amelia.
Escracho por todo el mundo, comiendo en la cocina.
And then she went also to a countryside. Uncle Arno had bought a land with a beautiful land on the outskirts of Buenos Aires, and Mother came and she loved it. She slept there in the little house. In the morning, I remember entering into her bedroom. She was sitting, looking at the window, and she said, "I am from the country." She said, "From the countryside. I love to be there."
Congratulations, what a house!
And she cooked for all of us.
What do you call them?
Morrones.
We had a huge pot. We were, cooking some rice, a kind of. We didn't have many condiments, so she put whatever was there. And when we ate it, it has an incredible taste. It was something that unheard of, so beautiful.
Not ready, Shimatashi. It's just starting getting hot. Estamos todos vibrados por dentro también.
We have many people who are pioneer, and also now they are going to South Africa, to other African countries, and I'm surprised at the way they are daring at things, working it out. Like Dualie went to Brazil, Horacio went to Argentina, and Gregor's sister, Varla, she went to this very difficult place, Bogota, and she worked it out for that country. So like that we have many who are doing it, and I cannot name all of them today, but really they stand out for their ability to create. Like Philip has gone to East Germany, which I suggested to him, immediately agreed. He's working it out there. And also we have somebody in Hong Kong who has started doing very good work. Everywhere I was surprised that these people went there and worked it out. They did not get contaminated, or they didn't try to assert themselves, and that is how Sahaja Yoga spread. But the person who started with Gregor is Rajesh, who is here, who is a very shy person himself. I don't know how he told my address to Gregor, and Gregor came to me. So everything has worked out so beautifully, like a small little stream flows and then becomes a big river and meets the ocean of the world. In this way it has happened.
The next year, Mother came again, just before the Ganesha Puja in Capella. That was the best year. The yogis in Buenos Aires had booked the presidential suite of the best hotel, the Alvear Palace Hotel. Mother was very pleased with the arrangements, and it was incredible also how everything happened, because on the next presidential suite, it was the president of Uruguay. So there came some journalists to interview him. But one of the yogis, Elder Sahaja Yogi, knew that journalist. I said, why are you going to interview this president of Uruguay when you have Shrimataji Nirmala Devi, who has been on the freedom fights for India next with Gandhi? And so absolutely he came and had an interview. The journalist was Santos Biasati, and we had an interview of Mother from him and the crew, who, by the way, got all the realization. I mean, they all did the experience, you know.
Por estos tiempos hablar del espíritu.
It's difficult on this time to talk about the spirit.
That's most essential at this time.
Es la cosa más esencial en este momento.
We are in a chaotic world because we don't know that we are the spirit.
Vivimos en un mundo caótico porque no sabemos que somos el espíritu.
All this restlessness is because we have to still become the spirit.
Todo este nerviosismo alrededor se da porque justamente no sabemos que somos el espíritu.
Without that, we are still at a human level.
Sin esto, estamos siempre en un sistema, en un nivel humano.
And we live in a relative world.
Y vivimos en un mundo relativo.
While we have to be in the absolute.
Mientras que tendríamos que estar en el absoluto.
Now, this work I've been doing for the last 25 years.
Este trabajo lo he estado haciendo desde los últimos 25 años.
And I feel that a global transformation has started.
Y siento que una transformación global ha comenzado.
Once you become the spirit, in the light of the spirit, you can solve all the problems.
En el momento que se vuelve el espíritu, con la luz del espíritu, se pueden resolver todos los problemas.
So most essential thing today is to become the spirit.
Entonces la cosa esencial hoy es el volverse el espíritu.
The program in '95 was fantastic. People were queuing for a long time to get into the theater, because obviously they knew that this was free, and then they had to be early. So they were for hours queuing, and the queue was very, very long. When the time came, the doors opened and people started coming in. And at one point, the people of the theater, they were scared because there were too many people, and they closed the doors. But many people were still outside.
¿Ahora se oye? ¿Se oye?
At that time, Mother had arrived, but was waiting because they were doing an introduction. I think it was José Antonio from Spain.
Uno de los aspectos de Sahaya Yoga, que de alguna forma forma parte de lo que podríamos llamar la técnica.
And people start banging on the doors. And the people of the theater were really scared. They didn't know what to do. They were going to call the police. And I went inside the theater. I looked, and half of the theater was empty. You know, they had all these different floors, like 4 floors. Why you don't let them come in? No, because they are all banging, and if I would tell them in, they're going to destroy everything. So let me go out and speak to them, and I will make sure that every come down. But you promise that you open the doors and let them in. Okay. So they opened a little bit the door. I came in, they nearly, pushed me out. I said, listen. And I started speaking to them. And funny enough, they all come down, and I start speaking loudly. I said, listen, you all can come in, but please come down, because otherwise they will not let you in. And there is place for everyone. Everyone will be in. So everybody come down. They opened the door, and they came one by one, and they were directing them to go up. Everyone, no one stayed outside, but the theater was completely full. There was nothing. There was no place for anyone now.
In my lifetime, I have seen so many such yogis all over. How things have worked out, you have heard about in Brazil and also in Argentina. Most unexpected. The people came to program from 12 o'clock in the morning, when we were going to have the program at 7 o'clock. I reached there about 8 as usual, and they said, Mother, you won't believe there was a big drama here. So what drama? They were sitting here from 12 o'clock. So all those who came earlier got inside, but those who came at the last minute, they would not be allowed, and they are sitting there and fighting, no, we are going to come inside, Sama. So then one of the Saj Yogis sensibly went and talked to the manager and told Baba, let them come. There is room. So there were 4 tiers. First one was the ground, then one more. When I came, I saw, what's this? All over, the whole thing was filled with these people. I had never seen them before, but they were there, and so respectful, so much absorbing the vibrations. And I found it difficult to control my tears out of real feeling of such gratitude for Sri Ganesh. He's the one who worked it out. That's why they say always, first worship Sri Ganesh before starting any work. Because then it gives you that peace, that tremendous powerful peace which works out so many things that you never thought of it would.
There is a time that is a little bit embarrassing, because in the program she said, look at these people, they can sing so well Marathi and Hindi, which is very difficult, and I'm very proud of them, and we were just singing, with Mariano and all the group, all the bhajans, and actually she was asking more and more songs during the program, and even after giving the realization, she asked us to sing Jogava and all those things, and it was really very interactive, and people were absorbing so much, these songs and the vibration of Shri Mataji. It was absolutely incredible.
One song which was written about the 16th century by a very great poet in India, where he describes that, oh Mother, give me my yoga. And he says that I have cleansed myself, I am now ready to get it, I surrender absolutely, now you give me my yoga. And this song was sung in our villages, which these boys, when they went to India, they picked it up, and they sing so well, I am surprised. Because you see, Indian language is very difficult, And it's a big tongue twister.
Vamos a cantar ahora una canción que es Yogava, que es una canción que ha sido escrita en el siglo XVI en India por un gran poeta, Namadev, que dice: Madre, ya he hecho toda mi limpieza interior, por favor, otórgame este yoga, esta unión. Y esta canción es cantada normalmente en las aldeas en India, y nosotros cuando fuimos a India la hemos aprendido y la cantamos ahora aquí, que es una canción que es en Marathi, y Marathi es una lengua que es bastante complicada, dice Shimate.
And even Sanskrit. They sing so well in Sanskrit.
Incluso
All Sahajoga's miracle, I can't believe it, so clear.
Incluso en sánscrito, cantan tan bien en sánscrito, es como un milagro también, porque lo cantan tan claramente, no lo puedo creer.
I'm very proud of them.
And she was really like very, very happy. She stood up at the end and looked at everywhere. About 15 minutes she stayed after finishing the talk and having given realization, and people were absorbing so much. It was absolutely incredible. I was moved because I couldn't believe. I knew that the people in Buenos Aires had good hearts and all that, but they were really so perceptive. And she said, Argentina, I would never expect it. It was really incredible time.
May God bless you.
Que Dios los bendiga.
But you must grow. Don't waste it.
Pero ahora deben crecer en esto, no lo dejen perder.
Respect your self-realization.
When we were coming out of the hotel towards the airport, she said to me, this time was a first class stay in Argentina. You know, she was really pleased with that.
But I have seen now in Argentina, people are doing very well and working out everything.
Pero he visto que ahora en Argentina la gente está mucho mejor, están haciendo que las cosas funcionen muy bien.
Everything was so first class. I enjoyed my stay thoroughly.
Todo ha sido de primera clase esta vez. He gozado de mi estadía absolutamente, completamente.
I thank you very much, really, for looking after every arrangement so beautifully, so capably.
Les agradezco de todo corazón de haberse ocupado de cada uno de los detalles, de todos los arreglos, de todas las cosas.
In the same way, you have to look after the new people who will be coming with love and respect.
De la misma forma deben ocuparse de la nueva gente que va viniendo con amor y respeto.
You won't have any trouble then with them. You will just enjoy their company.
No van a tener ningún problema entonces, solamente gocen de su propia compañía, de la compañía de esta gente nueva.
Anything you need, anything you want, anything that troubles you, you can always write to me.
Cualquier cosa que necesiten, cualquier cosa que quieran, cualquier problema que los aqueje, siempre pueden escribirme.
I am your own. You can always call me.
Yo soy vuestra propia propiedad. Siempre me pueden llamar.
Hermoso sentir como va fluyendo en todo mi ser un viento de vibración que me hace crecer, que me hace comprender cuán grande eres tú, madre del mundo. Tú has venido a esta tierra para dar
feel that in Argentina we still have so much to do. You know, there is such a potential for Sahaja Yoga in many places that they don't know yet. So I hope we can start doing some more tours and music and dances and bring more people to Sahaj. We're going to see about that. So that's it, Jai Shri Mataji.